Greetings! Welcome back to another video. Today is a very exciting day as, well, it is also a day I've been dreaded ever since I started this playthrough, but we are gonna be doing the map called X Factor. And this map is arguably the hardest advanced map there is. Certainly on top 3, I would say it is the hardest. It could have very well been an expert map, as it is extremely difficult, certainly top 10 hardest map in the game. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it. This map is very difficult, and the reason why is because you have Bloons moving in 2 lanes simultaneously. While okay, this sounds very normal, we've had a lot of maps like this before, but it is not as simple. When they move, they eventually reach this little I guess it's a sort of tunnel, but kind of a war thing, almost. You can see, like, explosives and such. So it's like a bunker of some sort that they reach. And whenever the Bloons reach that bunker, they are invincible, so you're unable to hit them, meaning that they will get out on the other side. So in practice, you kind of need to cover 4 lanes instead of 2, because you would have to be able to pop the Bloons later on as well. So yeah, it is just a very difficult map, and once you get to the harder rounds with all the COMGs and stuff, like at round 98, you can very easily end up being completely overwhelmed, because there's Bloons all over the place and you're just unable to control each lane. So it is definitely a very difficult map. Luckily, the start has gotten a lot easier since the Desperado monkey was introduced. So we don't have, we're not gonna have any problems whatsoever with the first rounds, or actually for a long time. The harder rounds are definitely the later ones. Normally, the round 6 is quite difficult on this map, but because of the Desperado, it's going to be very easy. So that's like the good news, you could say. And honestly, this is the first day where I am doing this map, and I've had it hasn't been as difficult as I feared beforehand. I've sort of been able to come up with a strategy, and one that I'm kind of happy with, that I think will work well here. But anyway, once you get the 2 Desperados down, it's all about saving up for the first sniper, so you end up getting that as soon as you can. There you go. Not too difficult, of course. But naturally, you want the sniper, because the sniper has global range and can hit the Bloons all over the place. And we're actually going to go for a second sniper. We will need that on round 10. Maybe not, but most likely we will need it eventually. And it's just good to get it down for the grouped Bloons that are going to appear. Well, here we have yellows. You can place one of them on strong, so you can catch, like, the harder, like the more powerful Bloons, like pinks and yellows. They can be quite scary in the beginning, but the Desperado is actually really solid in the early game, believe it or not. It can snipe a lot of these, like, pinks and yellow Bloons and stuff very easily, and it shoots very quickly. So the Desperado is actually a very solid tower early on. Somehow. Etienne is going to be placed right here. It's just nice because he's going to cover this lane for round 15. You will see that in just a second. While we're at it, we're going to be placing down a druid, so right here. And you know why I'm placing it down. I don't think I even need to tell you why, but you can see Etienne's drones here are quite convenient, right? You can see how they kind of help us down in this little lane here. But we're getting the Druid, of course, because we want to get a Druid of the Jungle. Naturally, the Druid of the Jungle has global range, and that's what makes it so useful in the early game, and especially round 21, 22 is where this one in particular is very nice, but also against lights. Right, for round 21, use the ability. You do want to use it so you can afford the Druid of the Jungle very quickly for round 22. Also, I think you die unless you use the ability on round 21, so go ahead and do that. One thing to remember about Etienne is that he is absolutely horrible early game. He does have a camo detection though, so that's nice, but he is terrible early game, like abysmal. So you may need to rely a lot on his abilities for popping power, but luckily this is the only time where we really have to use the ability early on. Next up is going to be a full metal jacket for LEDs, and then we move on to night vision goggles and shrapnel for camos, as well as just general popping power. We want this because round 36 can be quite dangerous actually on this map because of the pings and stuff, and we want to get a bouncing bullet as fast as we can, as it's going to be a very solid way to pop grouped balloons. Like, round 63 is very, very easy with this strategy, kind of because of this little upgrade. So, we get bouncing bullet, and from there, we're gonna get we're gonna be getting the fast firing, and the even faster firing as well. So we get both of these. There you go. Perfect, perfect. So we get both of those. And from there, we will be getting a village, because we can save some cash, and we will do that. Always nice to save some money. And the money is going to be, I wouldn't say it's tight, but kind of. It always is on a map like this one, so we want to save wherever we can. Especially because we are going to be placing down an alchemist on top of this, so we just save some little money here. So fast firing, even faster firing, but we're not going to go for the bottom path. We're going to go for the top path, which is going to be a major part of the strategy that we're going to be utilizing in today's map, because on a map like this, it's kind of important that you're able to stall a little bit. Because again, if the balloons are able to get far, you just you get overwhelmed very, very quickly. Like, before you know it, you're just dead, and you don't know how you died, but the ceramic just got through completely randomly, so yeah. Round 40 is easy with the deadly precision. You can use Etienne's ability to help, but the deadly precision is necessary, and then we get it, and the money is just enough. But it is there. And remember, Etienne's ability, main thing, and what I like about him is that he gives global camo. So camo is never going to be an issue, ever, on this map, or at least after this. But in general, camo is not a problem at all here. As I said, what happens with this map and the way you die, almost always, is just that you get overwhelmed, and you lose. And that's going to be like the big danger. So that's why we need to rely on a stalling tower like the MOAB, right? Because the MOAB is going to be stunning the MOABs, the strongest ones, so the COMGs, so they can't move and they become completely immobilized, which is going to allow our other towers to pop the balloons in the meantime. But even so, with that ability, it is tough to deal with all of the MOABs and BFBs that the sniper is not attacking, right? So we need a lot of DPS, essentially. It is one of those maps. And we will get that, don't you worry. I have something in mind, but for now, it has been a very easy experience so far. The only thing we've had to do is to use Etienne's ability on round 21, but that is nothing to be unhappy about. So we get this supply drop, and we will also be getting the elite sniper. I guess you could get the jungle drums before you get that. And yeah, I suppose we could also get the alchemist before that, but screw it, why not? It's not too much more expensive, and it's very useful to have regardless, so let's place it down. I used the wrong upgrade there. I somehow upgraded the middle path. That is interesting. Okay. We'll see how that pans out. That could come to screw me over, potentially, but we'll see. I'm not too worried about that right now. And the buff is stronger, and it lasts longer, but he's gonna be buffing Etienne as well, but I don't really mind that, actually. because Etienne is gonna be good at level 20. That is when he gets good, finally. But we're a bit far away from that at the moment. But he does level up very quickly, so that's the good thing about him. But Etienne early game is so unbearably bad that it's he is extremely unreliable. He has no pops. Look at that, 2,000 pops. That is terrible. Isili would have had more pops than him. Another hero that doesn't get good until the late game. Isili is such a weird hero, man. Very interesting, though. Interesting concept, like so different from anything else you have in the game. Elite Sniper now. So, now, Bloon rushes are going to get destroyed, like, instantly. They are never going to be a problem. But MOAB rushes, on the other hand, will be an issue. So what do we do now that we have the Elite Sniper and we have this guy? We are a bit far away from the Cripple MOAB. And truth be told, we need something else before we can start saving up for that Cripple MOAB. And believe it or not, we're going to be getting a Prince of Darkness as our major DPS nuke, believe it or not. It's going to be very strong on, like, DDT rounds and just to catch Bloons that are leaking, which is kind of the big problem. Fortified MOABs and stuff like that, they're kind of the biggest issue once you get to late game. Like 89 is extremely easy with like like this Cripple MOAB, but 88 is kind of a problem, and 89 as well. I meant 87 actually. That's when you get like 4 CMGs. Anyway, for round 95, you actually do want to use Etienne's ability just to be safe. So whenever you see the MOABs come out, you use the ability so you can pop them in time. Alright. That's 75. That's not 65. Oops. Well, it doesn't matter. You can obviously use it. You don't have to, though. I'm getting ahead of myself here for sure, but just that I'm talking so much, there's so much to say about the map. So I'll say that I do like it a little bit more than what I used to. This used to be my least favorite map in the game, but I don't hate it as much as I used to. It's kind of because I've been able to come up with a strategy literally on the first day, which I did not expect, so... And it's not as unfun as I remembered. I guess it's more fun now that it is more challenging, although it is kind of bullshit the way it is challenging though, but it still is fun. I mean, it's not fun, but it's not as bad as I remember. But it's nice to be challenged, you know. But anyway, 71 and stuff's gonna be easy. We can start working on this little this wizard here. I'm gonna get the top half. I prefer that over the middle one. Middle one is not important. It just gives you the fireball or whatever. I don't remember what it's called for some reason. Not that it matters too much, but what is important though is that you try to place him as far to the edge as you can, because that's gonna give you room for an alchemist. And he's gonna be like, he's gonna have so much range because Etienne, another thing that he does now is to give range upgrades to the towers. So he gives 10%, and then as he reaches level, I believe it's 16 or something, he gives them 20% more range. Like every tower in Etienne's range. Yeah, this is 75. That's when you need to use the ability. I almost died there because I'm talking so much, but it's fine. We are still alive. Normally, you should use the ability earlier. But we're fine. Just use it as soon as you see the MOABs, or the fortifieds rather, and you should be good. And how do we do on 77? We do good. Ooh, that was close, actually. Could use the ability again on 77. So if you use the ability early on 75, and then you will have it earlier on 77 too. So you are not going to leak there. So I have so much to say about the map, but I have been going on auto start here all the time. So far it has been 80 fairly comfortable rounds, although a couple of close calls, but those close calls are easily avoided. But now we have the Prince of Darkness, so it's going to be quite a few more rounds that are easy. I think that 87 is the round that is somewhat tricky, actually. And it's not like it's tricky, but we do need to ensure to use the ability. Because 87 has 4 COMGs, and this main MOAB is good, but it's not good enough to take care of 4 COMGs at the same time. And of course, the Elite Sniper is decent too, but we will be getting overwhelmed at that point. So gotta be a little bit careful. Other than that, the early 80s should be fine because we have the Prince of Darkness. So like 81, 82, etc. are very easy. While normally they would actually be a little bit difficult with this. If you had like the top path, the Cripple MOAB, these rounds would be quite hard. Because again, you have a lot of MOABs, and then you get overwhelmed. That's kind of the story behind this map. Kind of similar to Castle Revenge in that way, where you need to be relying on DPS heavy towers here to so you don't get overwhelmed down both of the paths. And as I said, it feels like sort of that you need to control 4 paths and not just 2. And yeah, that's because of the stupid bunker here. It gives the MOABs, it makes the MOABs a lot, or it makes it a lot trickier to defend. If you didn't have this bunker at all, the map would be significantly easier. Like, significantly easier. But we are closing in here. We have 84 now, so we will very soon have enough money for the Cripple MOAB. I may have made a mistake in my assessments of 87 being tricky, by the way, because in my other run that I did, in my test run, I placed the Alchemist first, but obviously I should have just upgraded the Cripple MOAB first, but it's all good. 85 is fine though, because we have 2 COMGs, and that is not as bad as 4, so 2 are fairly easy to take care of. So we pretty much have enough money after this round, meaning that what I said about 87 is not going to be necessary any longer, because of the Cripple MOAB will destroy the COMGs. So that's neat. Ooh. That's fine. So we get that right now. Now that we have that, it's going to do a lot of MOAB damage, like a crazy amount. So we are all set for round 100. We are set for most of these rounds, but we need to be careful of the MOABs. The lesser MOABs, those are the ones that are dangerous. So we start by getting an Alchemist. There we go. Gonna get the 3k upgrade here. Stronger Stimulant has been upgraded. Very nice. Or we have the upgrade, Stronger Stimulant, rather. So that's perfect. I mean, this is going really well. Surprisingly well, but I hope I don't jinx it. I really hope I don't jinx it. Yeah, this is looking good. Somehow. So 92 right now. This is when things are getting a little scarier, of course. But we should be totally fine on 82, on 92. 93 should be fine as well. The Alchemist has quite a lot of range here, actually. Which is nice. Alright, 94. I think I'll turn off auto start now, just in case. We are starting to, we have Etienne level 20 now too. This ability here is quite strong. So for round 95, what you want to do on round 95 is that you want to use the ability, actually. You want to use level 10 on 95 because the DDTs, again, they're very fast. And if you don't, you are likely to actually leak. It's just the way it is. So just, once you see them, start using the ability and you destroy the round. That is just the simple way to beat it and the way you should try to beat it, I think. And here we have 96. We have raked up quite a bit of cash right now. We have 26k, which is very, very nice. And the fun fact is that what we are going to be doing on round 98 is to use a super glue, which allows us to, I mean, we barely have the money, which is crazy. But once we get there, you're gonna see that in a second. So I'll place my glue here, like right here. That allows me to take control over this path and this path, because on round 98, the Moabs will come from here and from here. So you want to be able to control both lanes, obviously. So we can just start upgrading it. I like to get the corrosive glue. Then we put him... I actually want him on first because of leaks. 97 is a joke. That's why I'm mentioning all this stuff, because the COMG will be completely, like... It's not going to be moving at all, basically. So we will barely have enough money for the super glue. Like, it's going to be very close. So you can see right here, we have... Like, it is about $300 difference right now. So we'll be getting this pretty much instantly on this round. So right now, I suggest that you just very quickly get this. I should have upgraded that before the corrosive glue, but it doesn't matter. Now that we have that, we do Etienne's little level 10 ability. Let's take it slow too to see how it goes. But combine this with the Prince of Darkness and the super glue, it should be more than enough to take it down. Although you can see, like, stuff is getting it looks spooky, but it should be perfectly fine. There you go. Easiest 98 of my life. It's crazy how easy this ended up being. I thought this would be like a nightmare. I'm stunned beyond belief myself. I didn't even die a single time. I was almost dead because I was stalking so much, but here you go, level 100, but that's going to be a joke too. Just look at the sniper. It's gonna I ended up dying. Man, I jinxed that. But trust me, that is a joke. I think that is just horrible RNG right there. So in order to beat it, the only thing you need to do is to just use a little bit of more power. We have 12k here as well, but just use Etienne's ability and then you're good to go. You can use Jones too. There you go. Easy peasy. It was just me being silly, or I may have had the worst RNG of all time. But man, that was a great run. I'm very happy with this strategy. I tried like numerous ways of this. Like I tried the Spectre, but the Spectre just was terrible. The Spectre is good on 2 lanes, but or you can use it, but on a map like this, you don't want to use the Spectre really. And yeah, the Spectre wasn't very good. And I used the Archmage instead, but the Archmage was actually not good enough, because while the Archmage does a lot of damage, the Prince of Darkness just has better sort of DPS against these lesser Moabs, right? So yeah, and the super glue on top, just perfect calculated too with the money there, comes in clutch and just saves the day. And I would say that there aren't really too many hard parts either. So I'm very happy with this strategy, and I think it should net you the black border. But naturally, you gotta be remembering to use the abilities. But there you go. That is a huge one for me to get off, to cross off my list. I am feeling great right now, as X Factor has been taken down. A certified stinker. A lot of people hate this one, but it has grown on me a little bit now after I've had this success. But I doubt that the next bad map, which is Pat's Pond, officially like the absolute worst map in the game. That one is horrible, but we're not there yet. I believe the next map's gonna be Mesa, and then we move on to Geared, so hopefully you guys will be there then as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.